Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I am bringing you a new releases book haul. These are all books that I have digitally from NetGalley. As you may know, I am trying to increase my NetGalley percentage, get it up to that sweet 80%. None of these are actually books I've requested recently, they are books that I requested quite a while ago. Most of these books are coming out in sort of January to March, but there are a few other ones that are coming out later in the year that I'm going to talk about as well. I have 10 books to talk to you about, so I'm just going to jump straight into them. So first off, I have Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This is set in the early 1900s. It is set at a girls' boarding school. There were two young women who were in love and they were also obsessed with this kind of scandalous memoir from this 19-year-old girl. A few months later, they are both found dead in the forest with the book beside them. Within 5 years, the school is closed, and in that time, there have been 3 more deaths on the property, each in very strange circumstances. 100 years later, a group of actresses go back to this school to film a movie about these events, but then the present and the past become intertwined. That sounds so intriguing to me. Next, I have one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and that is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. I've read her 2 previous books for grown-ups, Promising Young Women and Scenes of a Graphic Nature, and I loved both of those books, so I was so excited to hear that she was bringing out a book for young adults. All I really know about this one is that it is about a girl named Maeve who feels like she is the unremarkable one in her family of geniuses, but she then realizes that she may have some powers that involve a tarot deck. Then, when she convinces her ex-best friend Lily to have a reading, she goes missing, and then her and her friends have to try and find out what happened to Lily. Next, I have a middle grade book, and that is The Shark Collar by Zilla Bethel. This is a book that is set in Papua New Guinea. We follow 2 girls, one named Blue Wing, who really wants to be a shark collar, and a newcomer named Maple. Initially, these girls don't get on very well. They don't bond, they don't share their secrets, they're very angry with one another. Then they go on a journey, which could bring them great treasure, but is also very dangerous. Love a middle grade adventure novel. Next, I have another middle grade book that I'm so excited for. This is Proud of Me by Sarah Hagger-Holt. This book is centered around Sarah and Josh, who are almost twins. They have 2 mothers and the same donor dad. Both of the siblings are really grappling with different emotions. Josh is really counting down the days until his 18th birthday when he will be able to contact his dad, and Becky cannot stop thinking about her friend Carly and trying to figure out those feelings. It's about both of these kids just wanting their parents to be proud of them, but figuring out themselves at the same time. I think this is going to be a really important book that tackles some really interesting themes really sensitively, and we love a queer book. Next, I have All Girls by Emily Layden. This is actually another book that is set at a girls' boarding school. Is this going to be a theme for 2021? If it is, I am excited. So yeah, this is set in an all-girls boarding school that is known for being very progressive, very forward-thinking, feminist intellectualism. Then a former student of the school makes an allegation of sexual misconduct on a unnamed teacher, and gradually this group of teenage girls realize that the adults around them weren't the protectors that they once thought they were. I think this is going to be a really phenomenal read. Next, I have How Beautiful We Were by Imbola Mbui. This is a multi-generational novel which is set in a fictitious African village, and it tells the story how the greed of an American oil company has catastrophic consequences for this small community. The lands are infertile, children are drinking toxic water, and the government exists only to self-serve. It has no interest in the people. I think this is going to be a really important story to read, and I'm really looking forward to diving into it. Next, I have Dog Days by Erica Waller, and this just sounds like the most fun novel ever. So in this book, we are following 3 different people who are at kind of a crossroads or a difficult point in their lives. They're all just in need of someone who's going to understand them. And then each of them has a dog, and it's about the dogs. It's about sort of the purpose of life and what a connection with a dog can show us about what it means to be human. And I'm a big dog person, so I'm very excited. Next, I have Good Eggs by Rebecca Hardiman. This is a novel that tells the story of 3 generations of a Dublin family, and it is meant to be perfect for fans of Marion Keyes and Derry Girls, both things that I love, so I think I'm going to really enjoy this one. I don't really need to know more about this book other than it is a chaotic Dublin family. I'm gonna love that. It comes out in March, so it is timed perfectly for the Irish Readathon, and I think I will be reading this one for the Readathon. Next is a book that is another one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and that is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. This is a book that has caused a real buzz in the publishing industry, and it's a bit like Get Out meets The Devil Wears Prada meets publishing. So this is set in a publishing company called Wagner Books. There are only 2 black employees at this company, one being 26-year-old editorial assistant Nella. They are both really fed up of being the only black people at this company, but then when they sit in cubicles next to each other, they begin to form a bond and a friendship. But then something happens. An uncomfortable set of events mean that Nella has become public enemy number 1 and Hazel has become the office darling. Then a note appears on Nella's desk telling her that she needs to leave the company. Things begin to spiral and she begins to realize there is a lot more at risk than her career. I am so excited for this book. I think it is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And finally, I have The Startup Wife by Tamima Anam. In this book, we follow a computer scientist named Asha who is completing her PhD. She has her future all mapped out and she has dreams and ambition of running her own lab one day. Then a chance encounter with her old high school crush, Cyrus, changes everything. They combine their skills and come up with an idea for a new social media app that could change everything. Asha creates the algorithm, Cyrus is thrust into the spotlight, and then the app explodes and becomes the next big thing. This is such an intriguing concept for me. It combines so many things that I love. So very excited to read this one, as I am with all of the books that I've mentioned today. They will all be linked down below in the description if you want to find out more about them. Are there any of these that you're as excited to read as I am? Let me know in a comment down below or leave me a little emoji so I know that you're here. I hope you guys are doing well and I will talk to you in my next video.